I don't want what I don't want to say. I don't want to say that I want the game to be better because I don't really feel like I have a responsibility to enjoy the game. Diablo 4 General Manager confirms annual expansions for the game. It's probably be good and bad. I'm happy to see the support from the game from Blizzard. And basically, this is like, in order for something like this to be approved, it's got to go through like a whole pipeline up and down Blizzard Activision. So it's nice to see that, like, people higher up in the company are basically giving the okay to write the checks out to be like, we're gonna dedicate all these resources to support the game for, into the foreseeable future. But it's like, we understand that you guys are having some problems right now, but we're willing to allow that, like, it could get better over time. Like, I'm really glad to see that. And that's specifically what's mentioned in the article. Rod Ferguson specifically talks about that, like, he wants to look at the beginning as this foundation that they're able to work on. And over the years, the game could get better and better, like so many other games have done. In general, I'm happy to see that. I know a lot of people were like kind of concerned when Diablo 4 went on sale, that it's just like, oh, it's now it's a dead game. They don't care. They're just trying to get whatever they can left with it. And like, by the time we get to season 3, 4, maybe 5, it's basically the game's going into maintenance mode. They're already moving on to the next project. But the way that this Rod Ferguson kind of makes it sound here is that no, that's not the case. We're going to be getting more resources dedicated into this. But I mean, I've got a couple problems. One, I don't think an expansion is something that really is going to keep my interest in the game. When I'm thinking of an expansion for Diablo 4, what I'm thinking is going to happen is essentially it's just kind of more of the same of what it has now. It's just going to be another season, with the exception that, like, the expansion is going to bring about new maps and probably a new class, is what I would expect from each expansion. It's like you're going to explore a new area. There's going to be there's going to be a campaign story for that area. Maybe it's like 2 or 3 acts long, and then we're also going to get a new class. Like, maybe they'll bring in the Blood Knight from Diablo Immortal. Maybe we'll get to see the return of who are we missing? The Assassin. I don't know. The Rogue has a lot of abilities that would kind of have gone to the Assassin, so I don't know how that would work exactly. But the actual changes that I would want to see added to the game, that kind of a lot of people want to see added to the game, I don't really see those just coming with an expansion. This is like itemization stuff. Like, when something drops in Diablo 4, I'm not really like excited to find out what it is exactly. And I'm gonna admit, the damage system in Diablo 4, a little bit complicated. I tried not to think about it too hard, but I'm willing to bet if I go ahead and dedicate a little more time into like learning how that system actually works, I could probably better appreciate my drops. And if I could better appreciate my drops, I could maybe get a little more excited about, some, pair of rare boots. I'm willing to admit that, like, maybe that's on me, and I could put more effort into, like, quote unquote learning the game. Like, but I'm still thinking that, like, I mean, it's just expansions aren't gonna keep my interest in the game if they're not going to go ahead and just fix resistances. Like, in fact, I think that's probably my biggest gripe about all of this, is that, like, I'm glad that you're going to invest the resources to make the game better over time, but, I mean, considering all the resources that have already been invested into this from such a large company, why wasn't it already better? Like, why aren't resistances working? I feel like that's a core fundamental mechanic. Maybe people are sick of hearing about the whole resistance thing, but like, I can't get it past in my head why something so fundamental to gameplay was just seemingly ignored on launch. Like, they knew it wasn't working and they just like threw their hands up and are like, fuck it, who cares, whatever. It's one of those things. I'm confused, like, I'm glad to hear expansions are coming, but I'm also confused as to, it's like, okay, why is it resistances still aren't working? Like, what's the deal there? Is this one of those like weird coding oversights? Like, World of Warcraft had like the first The first like backpack you have, they couldn't adjust the slots to it due to the way it was coded. I don't fully understand that, but I can get the premise. Now, eventually, they did have a workaround for that, and so I am kind of wondering, okay, well, if resistances aren't working, is there like any kind of workaround you can get for it? I have a mix of skepticism, but also a little bit of anticipation. I would like to see the game do better. I don't like wish ill upon the game, you know. I like it has beautiful artwork. It had a really nice story. I don't want to say that I want the game to be better because I don't really feel like I have a responsibility to enjoy the game. Like, I don't have a responsibility to force myself to enjoy something that I'm just not inherently enjoying. But if it does get better, then, like, okay, cool, I can, like, go back, try it out. Yeah, just kind of mixed feelings on this one. I don't know.